architecture and
Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing? Welcome. I do have things connected today, which is fantastic. I did not forget to do that. Do I have music on? I think I do. I think something like that might be fine, I think. Hello all, welcome to the stream. So what happens when you start the stream and immediately find shiny Arceus? No, I'll do something else entirely. I'll start doing something else that I actually want to do, you know? But welcome to the stream, Zane. Hope you're doing well. Let me just go here. And there's no wasting time today, by the way. No wasting time. We're going straight to it. Hello, Din. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I am doing fine. A bit tired, but it's the name of the game nowadays. So, you know. Basically, we have a weird pipe that it gets... what's its name? It gets clogged like crazy, and it's like the sewage pipe down by the garden, but underneath actual concrete and stuff like that. So we're trying to find a way to get that done, but it's proving to be tough. So yeah. But so far, overall, it's fine. I had a lot of ideas for videos, which is pretty fun, and most of them will probably not really work out because nowadays things are weird in terms of Pokemon videos. I don't think the channel has done this poorly in a long time, but I do have some interesting ideas, and one of them I'm very excited about, so I'm hoping I can actually make that come to life, you know. I'm very excited for one of them. Not a theory. I'm very down on the theories, actually. I think I have one ZA video on the horizon, and the rest is just not related to it. But I'm very excited for the possible June trailer. We're reaching the end of May after all, so you know, there's a big chance we get something interesting for June. And I can't wait to see something awesome. I can't wait to see stuff happening. A new trailer, a new bit of lore that we can speculate about. I can't wait for that. Right now, what I'm going for is mostly like gameplay related videos in a way, you know, stuff like that. I do have a video about like, I think my Friday video is ZA related. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. I finished the sound for 3 videos today, Fridays, and then the next week's Tuesday and Friday's video. But apart from that, that's what I have. I had ideas for... I can check. So I have every video ready until the very end of the month. So the 30th. Not the 31st, but the 30th. And then I have an idea for the 3rd, the 6th, the 10th, and the 13th of June. I'm thinking the trailer does not come out before the 13th. So I'm sure I'll have all of this done in time, which is pretty awesome. Ray, Canto Ray, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. And hey, it's not so strained indeed. Trying to get the shiny Arceus that really doesn't want to show up. It really does not want to show up. And, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Not much I can do. Not much I can do. We can do this. We're still able to do this. Today is exactly 2 weeks till the Switch due, and I think we'll get a Z8 rail by the end of the month. You think so? I'm assuming June is the right time though. I think the Switch releases... Oh, I didn't think about that. I planned my videos wrong. Yeah, I planned my videos wrong. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for reminding me of that, Din. I actually pre-ordered it already, but thank you for reminding me, because I was planning my videos forgetting about a very specific video I wanted to make regarding the Switch 2. So thank you for that. Let me just get this thing ready. Across Storm Magneton and Levitation. Zane, that is the one. I don't know how many times I've mentioned it on stream or something, like a Nuzlocke or something like that, where I believe that Magneton, I assume, like for example, in my mind, every time I'm playing Pokemon Sapphire or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire or something like that, I think Watson's Magneton has Levitate. It doesn't have, it never had, but in my mind, and then I remember a very specific moment, which was, okay, I always beat this Magneton using Mud Shot from my Marshtomp, so it cannot have Levitate. But in my mind, it always, I always assume that Magneton has Levitate. That's true. I don't remember anything else, but that one is 100% a Mandela effect thing going on with me as well, because I honestly, I remember not using my Marshtomp on Watson thing. I had to switch out. See, that's the thing. The Mandela effect part takes over my Marshtomp experience, because I always used it, and I'm using it right now in my Pokemon Emerald run. But and I know right now. I think I know. In my mind, I knew already that thing does not have Levitate. Just take Marshtomp and mud shot that guy until there's no more magnet thingies going on. But for a long time, and probably will happen again, I just don't remember. I just forget about it. Oh, I do remember that. That part I remember. Ace trainers are not the cool train. I remember because of the outfit. Because the ones that have like the red outfit, I remember those being called cool trainers. I remember that. Someone should donate me a GBASP. Try a DS Lite. I think DS Lites are actually not that expensive, and they're not a bad console to own, because you can then buy a R4 card and just get a whole bunch of games there besides your own. I don't think the DS Lite is nearly as expensive as like a 3DS or something. Let me see the prices for a DS Lite nowadays. I'm seeing DS Lites here for like 50 euros, which should be around $60. And DS Lite plays, it plays that, All people think Gyarados is Spark Dragon, or think the type chart goes symmetrically. For example, it's not common to find people thinking Grass resists Rock. I think I had one of those. I don't remember which one was exactly on, but I remember during one of the Nuzlocks on the randomizer runs, there was a type matchup that I could have sworn that it didn't work like that. Until you guys told me that, I was wrong. But I remember there being something. I think Gyarados. I think Gyarados is one of those that you just remember as. I think a lot of people just assume it is dragon because of that. Because it is technically always defined as a dragon. Lance has it, and a lot of people are probably gonna be confused by that. I'm going to try to get my shiny Mew before the Pokemon Go event in August, so you can show it off. Take some pictures there. Yeah, you can do some AR pictures with Mew on the event. I'm still jealous that thing does not. Portugal has nothing. We didn't have the Switch 2 thingy. We didn't have the Pokemon Go thingy. We get nothing in Portugal. Have fun finding a card with a good battery. Oh, the batteries are very simple to replace. I'm gonna have to replace mine, but I have to replace all of my Gen 3 batteries, I believe. But they're very simple to replace. Very simple, actually. Compared to, like, I messed up my Gen 2 replacement way back in the day. I tried to replace my Pokemon Gold and it did not go very well. I know I can still replace it now and it will work, but I messed up the whole thing. I really destroyed the cartridge. So I bought a new one at the time. Very cheap. Pokemon Gold was like I think I paid like 10 euros for it. Less than that. I think I must have paid like 8 euros or 7 for a Pokemon Gold cartridge, which was awesome. I was like, what the hell? And it's an original one. It's not like it's a fake one or anything. It is Pokemon Gold, but with nowadays prices, it's crazy. Do you watch JoJo? I do. I do know that there was stuff about the new series, right? I could have sworn ground resisted fire, so I didn't think I could use my Salazzle against the Alolan Ductrin. That's the thing, like, it's exactly what Odd's talking about. It's thinking it works, you know, like the other way around as well. It's crazy. But I think it happened to me as well with one of those interactions, one of those relations. I was like, okay, yeah, this beats that, so this resists that? You know, like I remember something like that. I don't know the typings exactly, but I know it happened to me during the randomizer. I messed up an old yellow card before. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. I still have my broken gold one, my original gold one. It's all messed up. Like, first of all, I was a kid when I received that, so I absolutely messed up the whole cartridge. And but it's still there, just to, you know, for me to remind myself of what I did. But the worst part about those old games getting the battery messed up is that back in the day, the save file was actually tied to the battery. So if the battery went bad, then the save file was erased. And that was the big issue back in the day. With Gen 3 onward, the save file is not connected to the battery. It's just the real-time events, which means that you can actually save the save file. But the problem is, even if you replace the battery, the save file does not have it yet replaced. It doesn't kickstart the events. That's why having an R4 card is awesome nowadays, because you can actually use a specific app or software thingy inside the R4 to kickstart your clock on your Pokemon Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, or your Gen 3 game, and then you don't have to replace your save file. You don't have to reset your save file, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Back in the day, like I was looking at my my current run, and I was like, okay, I need to replace the battery, but I don't want to lose my save file. And I searched online, and that's what people do nowadays. They buy an R4 card, they wipe it off because they come with a time bomb, so they last only for a few months and then they die. You don't get access to them, so you kind of have to redo the software of the whole thing. And after that, you're just fine. You can absolutely just replace the batteries, kickstart the save files. It's awesome. I was falling down to my Salazzle, I used the fire move and it was super effective. I was like, what? It's a steel type. The regional forms were a new thing back at that time, so it's very, very easy to just not really, you know, see it. Oh, by the way, oh, I did not read that. I need to read it. I knew there was something. I opened Discord a while ago and I was like, I had something here to do, but then I didn't remember what. I'm checking it right now. Before I read your message, I'm checking it. Okay. Okay, so I actually read what I had to read. All right. I read what I had. I didn't read this last message that you sent. Just as in, I don't like the names victory and defeat, so I'm assuming they're like placeholders or something. I think Colress should be there, you know? I think Colress should be there for sure. Shiny hunting mechanics, I know I believe there won't be one, but the extra odds when you complete the Pokédex X page is going to return. Shiny mechanics are more of a dual release thing. The X completion increaser. I don't think they are. Shiny hunting mechanics are 100% something that actually exists. Like Legends game had a shiny hunting mechanic. Like outbreaks are 100% there for both the Pokédex completion and the increased odds and all that. I don't think they are a dual release thing at all. I think they're just a Pokemon main series thing at this point. Like Legends had it, and it's the only single release we had. So I mean, from what we have, and I know they're changing things. I know that using Legends as the Legends Arceus as the base for Legends EA has failed us in the past, but I do believe that it probably is still a thing. Like I think outbreaks with increased shiny odds, like already in the outbreak, regardless of what you've done with your Pokédex entries, I think there'll still be a thing. I don't know how outbreaks will work Oh, by the way, it's probably going to be the Poke Radar. What am I saying? It's probably going to be something like a version of the Poke Radar. It could definitely be something like that. I don't know how they would do it in Pokemon in ZA, but the Poke Radar was in Kalos. You had the Poke Radar, which means that something like that could actually be like changed, you know? Like some sort of minigame type of thing. Like sending your Pokemon to check specific spots or something like that. I don't know. They could definitely do something like that. Or something similar to the Dex Nav, because it feels easier to implement. Like sneaking on Pokemon, getting more encounters and all that. The Poke Radar was there, so they can definitely like work with it. Like there was no reason for the Poke Radar to be in Kalos because, you know, I think it still is. Sandwiches increase odds, I understand that, but the outbreaks themselves are something. Because if the outbreaks get increased odds as well, then it means that they are a method of shiny hunting. They are a mechanic for shiny hunting, because they didn't have to have the increased shiny odds. If they do it, it's because it is a mechanic. It is a way to shiny hunt. And you can also like reset them, which means that you can search for what you want as well. They're a mechanic. In my opinion, they are a mechanic. They're not something as active, I'd say, as what you're saying, like the sandwiches, the battles and all that, but you still have to kind of do something. It's like clear the outbreak. You can check the outbreaks from above and see if you have a shiny. You can reset them and try to find the one you want. I think it still counts as a mechanic. It is connected to the Pokédex in a way because it changes odds. The Pokédex changes the odds even further. But I do believe it. In my opinion, it is a mechanic. But I think the Poke Radar can 100% make a return, because it didn't have a reason to be in Kalos. I barely used it in Kalos. I tried to get an Aromatisse. No, not an Aromatisse. I think it was a Slurpuff. I tried getting a Slurpuff, a shiny Slurpuff at the time. I failed. But it had no need to be there, because you had Gen 5 in the middle, and Gen 4 was already like 5 years since Gen 4 or something, maybe more. And they just added them, the Poke Radar, and it was there. So they could just rework the Poke Radar into something else. I don't know how they would do it, because there's no like hidden patches of grass. There's no hidden Pokemon. But they could rework it into something different. I mean, the Holocaster technology already evolved as well, so they might just evolve the technology for the Poke Radar. It is possible. I don't know. Sure, you're thinking about something more active, is that it? Not the kind of mechanic you were thinking. But I think the Poke Radar, you have chain fishing, but I don't see fishing. Fishing might actually become a thing. Yeah, fishing might become a thing. Now that I'm thinking about it. We haven't seen anything regarding us being on water from the trailers. Like there's absolutely nothing about us being on water. I'm assuming that the same way we have parkour Rotom Phone, we're gonna have like something regarding us traveling through water, through the canals and all that. I think it kind of has to happen, I think. But we did see someone fishing, right? We saw someone fishing in the trailer, right? The first trailer had someone fishing, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the trailer real quick. You know, the blueprint trailer? Let me see that real quick. Where do I keep my trailers? Where do I keep them? It's over here. Yeah. Trailers. I'm pretty sure this thing has someone fishing at a certain point, which doesn't mean that we will be fishing. It doesn't mean anything really, but I do think that at a certain point here, someone. No, they're throwing a Pokeball at water. They're not fishing. Yeah, someone is throwing a Pokeball at water, not really fishing. So there's a chance there's no fishing in the game. A very likely chance. Fishing has been out for a while. Like we had it in Sword and Shield, but it was so secondary. But chain fishing could have been the thing. It would be interesting to see them make it work, but they kind of just threw it away. feet were absolutely placeholders. My goal was to up sync timeline because it was so tiring. I get it. I read it as placeholders, but I was like, I mean, maybe you actually want those titles, Victory, Victini, so it's connected to Gen 5 as well, you know, so maybe you would introduce the Defeat Mythical. You have the Victory Mythical and then the Defeat Mythical. That could be interesting, like a weird regional timeline form of Victini, where it's actually a very, very depressed Pokemon because it lost, and it always loses. That could be cool. That could be cool. Like darkened colors or less saturated, same colors but less saturated, ears down, you know. One ear up and the other one like this, forming an L, you know. That could be interesting. It would be a fun form. But yeah, I don't know how they'll do it. I know they will do it. I know there will be shiny hunting 100%. I know the game is less focused on collecting as much as like Legends Arceus was, which was more of a game where catching was the thing. Like seek all Pokemon, blah blah blah. So that was definitely the focus of the game. And this one is definitely gonna be more like battle and win, you know? It's completely different from Legends Arceus. But I still believe there will be something related to actual shiny hunting and stuff like that. There has to be, you know? It is more than important to have shiny hunters happy, especially in a game that is a Legends game. Because the worst thing... Let me just reply. Sorry. I was just replying to something. Just check something. Car stuff, as always. The usual problem here. There's always something wrong with the car. Cars are basically just a way to make us waste a lot of money. That's what they are. The point of the timeline theory was just to explain how we could have two timelines parallel to each other, whether Colress and L Mythical or even Numerian are to be the stories in detail. I didn't find relevant for first this draft. That's understandable. It's just that that's the first thing that came to mind, honestly. An L defeat timeline guy, basically. Colress also feels like something that is important there. The Godstone is gray and Colress is gray. I think the name is actually gray, right? Let me see something here, Colress. Because Colress is kind of the morally gray character. It's just doing stuff for you know, the sake of science, the potential of Pokemon. Yeah, colorless. It's not gray. It is colorless. Achromatic. That's the name for colorless in other languages. Colorless is just colorless, basically. I wonder how quick the soft reset would be on the Switch 2. If on the Switch 1 it will take a minute for reset. I think on the Switch 2 it will take around 30 to 45 seconds. It's possible. That's one of the reasons I could use the Switch 2 for BDSP. I'm not gonna do it. I'll keep the Switch 2 in the living room where I can play it, chilling a little bit. But that would be a reason for me to hunt Arceus in it. I could actually try. I very likely will actually try it when I get the Switch 2 in my hands. I'll time the reset, because this is the thing that takes the longest here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this has nothing to do with the actual power of the Switch, but something to do with something else in the actual game, you know? I think it's very likely that there's something else weird. Like BDSP is a weird case. It's not that I don't like the game, I'm fine with BDSP, but there's stuff here that really makes me feel the game was made on a short notice, if I'm not mistaken. If you get me, like there was like not a lot of time between the Ilka receiving the notice that they had to do this and the time they had to release it, you know? Feels like a lot of stuff should be definitely better, but it is not. It is not, and that is an issue. Oh well. Let me just send a message here. I should send a message. Just a second. Just a second, this is important. Just a second. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Lots of stuff. That's the problem with streams right now. Is there's always something else. Ever play any of the Mario RPGs? I'm starting to get back into Mario and Luigi. I have played Mario 64. I think that's a Mario RPG, right? And I've played Paper Mario on the I think Paper Mario 64. I think that's the name of the game. I think those are the two ones that I've played. I think, would you consider a Paper Mario 64 a Mario RPG? Because I love the game. It was very much a turn-based RPG, basically. Almost not a monster catching, but it had that, you know, like partner collecting thing where you would get all kinds of partners and all that. I really enjoyed, really enjoyed that one. I really thought that one was a pretty cool one. I wish that would be on the Switch. I don't know if it is on the N64 thing. I might be wrong now, but that was a cool one. I played the N64, those two N64 games basically. Never played one. Oh really? That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. I really do enjoy the games. I played more of the platformers, the original Super Mario World and all that. Those earlier games, or Super Mario Bros. And all that. I played more of the platformers and Mario Odyssey than any other game, really. I was never very Mario forward, you know? Like, it's the kind of game that I played. There was a time where platformers were basically all we have available for the Game Boy, which was the major console here in Portugal, from Nintendo at least. And I played, you know, like Rayman, some Metroids, Mario, all kinds of weird Disney games you could find, you know, like every franchise had a platformer, every single one of them. So that was basically all that I was playing, was mostly platformer games, not as much other things. So I never played a lot of Mario. Donkey Kong as well. It is, if it is, I can play it. I actually got the NSO Plus expansion pack. Like, at the beginning of the month because I had some friends coming over for my birthday and they all like retro stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I should just get this so you could play. We didn't play. We just stood there and talk and all that. So but I still have it, and now because of the account thing, I'll have the Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild new version for the Switch too. So that's pretty awesome. I can try those games out on the Switch too. Should be pretty fun. But I'll likely play them. The first Paper Mario is on the 64. Oh, it is? That's pretty cool. I've beaten the game already, but it was a pretty cool experience. I really enjoyed that. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you ever played. There was a Bomberman game for the Game Boy. I think it was named Bomberman Tournament. I'm not sure if that was the name, but that was a Bomberman. Give me just a second. I love that game so much. It was like a monster taming Bomberman. It's this one, I think. Bomberman Tournament. That's exactly it. Bomberman Tournament. This game, Bomberman came to mind because of Bomberman 64, which is. I always think about that one when I'm thinking about the Mario games on the 64 because I played them at around the same time. But Bomberman Tournament on the Game Boy, it should be on the Switch. If it isn't, I don't think it is. But Bomberman Tournament is fantastic. It is a Bomberman game, so you use the bombs to open up paths and all that and defeat enemies. But you play that exact Bomberman on the bus. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Bomberman Tournament was fantastic. Fantastic. That game is incredible. And it has a monster taming and a very, monster battling theme going on, which I really, really, really love that. I would love to play that right now. I need to get that game. I'll get it on the 3DS, honestly. I had it. I'm going to be honest. There was a time after I left university at the time, I had so many random games lying around. I sold them all, almost all of them. I sold them to, those secondhand shops. So I sold my GBA games, all that I have, except a few. But except the Pokemon ones, really. Only the Pokemon ones stayed with me. And I sold some PSP games and stuff like that. But yeah, basically, one of them was Bomberman Tournament. And that was a game that I regret selling because I'd love to have it here. I'll probably just get it on the Model 3DS. That's probably what I'm going to do, I'm going to be honest. Or not. I'll get it on my, what's its name? The DS Lite or something. But that game was fun. I also had like King of Fighters, which was pretty cool as well. Beat that game like way too many times. Yeah, lots of cool stuff on the GBA, honestly. But Bomberman Tournament is one that to this day I think about when I think about, I wish I never sold my games when I was young. Yeah, kind of the same thing here. At the time, just left university, still out of a job. I was like, I'd rather have the money than have the games. At that time, but except the Pokemon games, I kept the Pokemon. Not only did I keep the Pokemon games, I used a part of the money I got for the other games to get myself Pokemon Leaf Green, which was like, yeah, priorities, I better sell these games because, I need to have like something in the bank account. And, but I used part of it for Leaf Green. So, not a very responsible youngster was I. Didn't realize how much I would value them. That's true. We never know. We never know. I look back at a lot of things. What I did to Pokemon cards. Like, there are so many Pokemon cards that I have no idea what I have them. I remember going on vacation with my grandparents, and they bought me a Pokemon tin. I don't even have the tin right now, but it was a Gen 3 Pokemon tin. I found a booklet that came with it, which I didn't even remember I had it. But I don't know what happened to the cards. I know some of them are in my binder right now, but a lot of them I don't have them anymore. I probably lost them, misplaced them, you never think about it when you're young because you're young. Those things are just something for you to play with. You have fun with it, and eventually you stop having fun with it to move on to something else, and it stays in the background. It happened to, what's its name? A lot of my figurines and all that. I had a lot of Pokemon figurines that I would kill to have right now, but I don't have them anymore because For example, I have a Squirtle and a Wartortle in my set that you cannot see. You cannot see a lot of my set. Like there's a lot of stuff like right there. But I have like a Wartortle and a Squirtle, and they're missing parts. Like the Wartortle has no tail, for example, and neither does a Squirtle. That's because I was a kid. I was playing around them as if they were having battles. I was messing them up, and some of them, and I did have like a Charmander. I had the Pikachu. You know, I had a whole bunch of them. They're just gone. I ransacked my parents' home a while ago trying to find them, but they really are gone. They probably were broken, and you know, when something is broken, if you're not around, it goes into the bin. Yeah, lots of things. The cards are the ones that hurt the most because I eventually actually started like playing and all that, and I would love to have my cards around. A lot of the ones that I had when I was younger, and I don't have most of them. They probably would be like really poor shape, but at least I would have them, you know. I did go to McDonald's the other day to get some Pokemon cards. I got all the same thing. Like, look at this. I got 4 Happy Meals, and they gave me all 4 Umbreon. You know, like I was like, oh, come on. No, all 4 Umbreon. Also didn't get the Roaring Moon, which was the card I was seeking, but you know, it is what it is. And the worst part was since the actual restaurant was closed for construction, we had to go to the Mech Drive, and because we went to the drive, I couldn't really like check everything there. I had to just, or else I would be like, oh, can you give me one of each or something? Because I don't want to go there and just have a whole bunch of Happy Meals. I just, 4 is already enough. 4, I was decently satisfied, I think. Satisfied enough. The cards were fine. No Roaring Moon though, so that's, yeah. I did get to Pikachu. Pikachu is always a chase card for these McDonald things, so that's fun. I'm still looking for the Team Rocket stuff as well, the Destiny Rivals things, but man, they really messed up the Pokemon thing. Like this thing with scalpers and resellers and stuff like that. It's really messing up the. It's really messing up the game. You know. I love the games. I love the TCG. I love to play the game. It's not really that I'm just a collector. I love playing the game, and I usually go and play the game. But like for example, every new like set or big set, you have something called a pre-release. Something called a pre-release, and basically you go there, you pay for it's 30 euros here, you get build and battles, so specific box things that you can use, build your own deck with it, and then play the game. I always go. This time it was completely full already, and it never is full. I didn't see any pictures from it, so I'm assuming a lot of people were there for the collection. Who's your favorite Paradox, by the way? Walking Wake and Slitherwing go hard for me. I love those both. I love them both. Slitherwing is amazing. It's probably my favorite. Together with Sandy Shocks. I love Sandy Shocks as well. I do like Walking Wake a lot. When I saw it the first time, I was like, what the hell? This is awesome. But I have a special place in my heart for Roaring Moon because of the trading card game. You know, that's the thing. Like, it is a cool Pokemon. It's Mega Salamence, but with, like dinosaur and very prehistoric looking. But the thing is, it's more generic in a way compared to like Walking Wake and Slitherwing. Sandy Shocks is like crazy weird, so I love it. Let me just check something here. Gotta do that. Yeah, and what's its name? But because of the TCG, I was playing a deck that played with the Ancient Paradox Pokemon, so it became the deck. It became a card that I actually enjoyed. But I do love Walking Wake because of how different it is from Suicune, but still clearly being Suicune. But Sandy Shocks is like a very weird one. Slitherwing is like a very cute Pokemon, you know? So it's very nice. It's very nice. Sandyshock is the best Paradox Pokemon, no one can change my mind. And that's absolutely fine. Sandyshock is amazing. The way it moves is terrifying. The way it just walks around with those stretchy, wiggly steel legs, you know, like it's terrifying. I love it. The fact they got a water type that is more powerful in the rain or sun is nuts. Then you'll say you don't have this mind blow. That is true. It does have the water and the ability. What's its name? Photosynthesis, right? It is photosynthesis, which is insane. Like how crazy they've done it. I gotta leave you guys for a bit. Give me just a second. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back in no time. Hello everyone, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Tried to scare me with spiders. There are quite a few around here. Been getting more since we live close to a place with a lot of you know, so it's not that we're in the countryside, but it's still a village, you know, and so we have a lot of like green spaces here. I've been finding some pretty large spiders. For the most part, we let them be because they will eat the flies and stuff like that. And so every time I have something open, there will be like at least 1 or 2 spiders getting on inside the house, which is fine. You know, for the most part, they will not harm you. There's not a lot of spiders here that will actively harm you. I'm not afraid of like ticks and stuff, but I've never been bitten by one. Yeah, I've never been bitten by one. I think not really. The thing I hate the most about like being, you know, in the garden lately and stuff like that, wasps. I hate wasps so bad, so bad. And we have those big ones, the Asian variety. Those are annoying as hell. You always have to go, oh come on. And there was a time where we don't get black widows around here. At least in this part of the country, they're very harmless spiders. You know, we don't get a black widow here. I probably wouldn't let the black widow in though. I probably wouldn't. Wasps are more annoying though because they actively come after you. Like you see a spider and the spider is it's like on the wall or something. The spider's not gonna come running after you for the most part. Not this kind of spiders at least. And a wasp will do the opposite. The wasp will see you and just go after you. And there was a time, and I don't know why or how it happened, but they started getting like very into my car. Like they loved the car so much. Like every time I parked the car, they would just go around and just, you know, one of them might already get some kind of pheromone or something on it because they were crazy about the car. I remember having to scrub. There was this was recently, but there was one time like a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, where I found like I think like 3 or 4 wasps together, probably mating or something, on the side mirror of my car. And every time I would park the car, a whole bunch of wasps would get into my my side view mirror, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like. I cannot, like, I couldn't drive with my window open in the middle of the summer because like they would get into the car, you know, like even by sheer force of the wind, you know, like of the movement of the car, they are crazy. And I had to scrub down that thing with alcohol to just be sure that no more wasps would get there. That was crazy. Where I live, we have 2 kinds of scorpions. One that's harmless and one that'll cause your arm to turn black and rot off. The 2 Perfect. That is perfect. I remember when I was younger, watching a documentary about scorpions, and that one of them could do exactly that. I had a friend of mine from high school that she was bitten by one on her leg. She was like on vacation with her family or on like some kind of island, and she was bitten by a scorpion on her leg. I think it was on the calf muscle. And that thing, like, just, I don't know, like it just contorted and became like weird, like kind of like some kind of atrophy on it or something. That was crazy. She was very young as well. Like we were in high school, like early days of high school. So I remember that, and it was like a very nasty scar that she got there. I'm trying to imagine Diffie and the third member, tiny. Maybe, and it's actually harder to come up with a trio that's not fire, water, grass, or fire, electric, ice, but still makes sense. I mean, that's what they need to do. I mean, the Fitini kind of needs to lose, and I think the third one, Tiny, should not be able to win against either of them. It has to be just simply effective against both. Or no, it should be effective against. It's weird. Because it would make sense for the Fitini to lose against the rest, you know, to be for the others to be super effective against it. But it would make sense for Tiny to tie with both, for it to simply be effective against both and receiving both. Species of viper and the species of non-venomous colubrid that have the same coloration. This kind of mimicry is hilarious and common amongst venomous animals. They love to trick us. They do love to trick us. I hate them so bad. I hate them so bad. We don't deal with a lot of that here, though. I think I've only seen a couple of snakes in my life around here. Like they are like I've heard them, but I rarely seen them. The only two that I saw that were wild were basically dead. They were like caught or something. Even spiders and stuff like that. They're not really the kind of like huge spider you see online. You know, they're maybe this size of spider. You know, like something like this. Maybe this. You know, like something like that. Maybe. It's in the north center of Portugal. It's very chill part when it comes to those things. Very, very chill part. And it, you know, it has enough. You know, you have enough people living here to make like the environment not very pleasant for those kinds of animals, despite the green parts and all that. I'm pretty sure there's like a whole bunch of snakes in the park that we have around. There's a big park at the end of the village, but I can't imagine anything like that being like here, for example. It's possible. There's like a huge kind of woodland around there, like a weird grove, private grove, but I can't imagine a lot of them being there. Why evolve Venom when you can just dress up as a venomous animal? Yeah, then if you don't want to, you can just be like, no, I'm cool. Just cosplaying here, bro. Just cosplaying. But yeah, it's kind of how it is, really. Man, this Arceus, it's cool that we're just talking about random things, or else I'd go crazy if all I had to talk about was Arceus and how to catch it and how I need it and all that. I'd go pretty insane. We're also right now in the process of digging some holes to get the weeds, all of the weeds and all the grass clippings and all that buried, so we can start to kind of fertilize the ground and make it a little bit better in the future, because that thing, not the best grass, not the best ground. It was left unattended for not the best soil. It was unattended for a long time. It is supposedly a good soil. That's why you get a lot of weeds there as well. But it was left unattended for a long time, so there's a lot of work to do on that thing. But we're making progress on that thing. We're making progress. Our goal is basically to start planting stuff, because we do have some people that have the seeds and all that, and some things already like seeded. By the end of next month or something like that, and it's possible, even though slightly unlikely. But if everything goes well, it's very possible. Speaking of wasps, did you know there's no really taxonomic distinction between ants and wasps? They're literally the same thing, but if they look at a certain way, we call them ants or wasps. I did not know that. Body type wise, they're similar. Like, from someone that doesn't have a lot of background on those things, they are similar. Mostly because of like the body shape, I'd say. You know, besides the wings and the size and all that. But I did not know that. If it is not particularly true, I know Odd will say something. Odd is our resident biologist. So we have a resident biologist, a resident doctor, a resident geologist, and those are the two. We had a resident nurse as well, We have a lot of I don't know if I can still call myself that. I'm non-practicing a non-practicing criminologist. So we have a lot of like minds at work here. Lots of minds at work. So pigeons and doves. That's why P-Dove looks like a pigeon and a dove at the same time. They were like, let's call this thing P-Dove. There's basically no distinction between them. Yeah, we have great minds. Great minds watch, not so a stranger. Great minds watch, not so a stranger. That's something that everyone should know. Then everyone would watch Not So a Stranger. Because lately, really, I'm telling you, like the viewership on my last videos has been like insanely bad. Like for example, between the last 4 videos, they have basically the same or less as my, like the video prior to that. In terms, like all of those 4 combined have around the same or less than the video before that. It's crazy how terrible everything has been. Like the viewership has been. It's crazy. I know people watch a lot for theories, but I really have nothing right now. Not something that fits my my style of theory, I think. I've been trying to think about something that could work, but it's tough. I have the tinfoil hat there. The tinfoil hat is gathering dust. I don't know. It's a badly faithful way to say it. Both do belong to the same order, but they're evolved in their own unique ways. It's kind of the same bad faith as saying all animals are fish. It's only true if you keep removing distinctions long enough. So they do belong to the same taxonomic order, but they accumulate a little bit extra if you go further. It's a simplistic way to say, basically. A simplistic way to say it. Because to be true, yeah, to be fair, yeah, if you call them ants or wasps, depending on how they look, how they look is how you define what they belong to or what they are. So that kind of makes sense. Hello, Dean. Welcome back. How are you doing? Welcome. You still caught me live. I'll still be here a little while longer. Just a little while longer. Let me just reply here. And yeah. It's it makes sense because you define things by how they look and what they are in a way. Also, there's every year there's like that festival. That makes P-Dove make even more sense. Keep saying that, but it's true. Makes P-Dove make even more sense. I get what you're saying, but that's not the same phenomenon. No, some ants are more closely related to certain wasps than they are to other ants, and vice versa. Like there's no single wasp. There are some other animals like that, aren't there? I remember when I was doing the WTF videos, I found some Pokemon inspired in some animals that, despite having a certain name or looking a certain way, they are closely related to something else entirely. Despite being other things, they are closer to something else. I remember finding some like that. The problem with doing so many is that in the end you don't learn as much as you think you did. You can get it in. Get it. Get your Mew. I will not get my Mew. I will not even get my Arceus. Sadly. I won't even get my Arceus. Maybe someone is cool enough to trade you a shiny Mew when you get to that event. Or can't you trade the shiny Mew? Maybe you can't trade the shiny Mew. which would be sad, but you know, it is what it is. But I do remember finding something else that that had that that's very specific. This. Let's see if I have anything like. I don't. Because I know that YouTube has that delay on the stream, which I don't like at all. But you know, you're wearing doves and pigeons and moths. They're not as close to each other with ours. Incredible. Lineage is an extremely vague description. You can get away with all of it. I knew that Odd would be more noticing more of, you know, the little details in those statements, because it is something that he loves, that's for sure. But to be fair, like, it kind of makes sense that you have like specific groups of animals or of species, and it gets to a point where they are different species, but there has to always be like an extreme end to them, you know, like for example, ants start here and end there, and there's like this extreme kind of ant and that extreme kind of ant, and that extreme kind of ant might be more similar to a wasp in terms of appearance and all that, than to an actual ant from this side of the spectrum. I don't know. I had limited biology on my I had like only I think actual biology I had like 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years of biology. And then all my kinds of like biological related things were more like related to the human body, more like toxicology, forensical kind of examination things, you know, those kinds of interesting things that even that I don't remember as much right now, because my life changed way too much for me to remember everything I knew, and that wasn't really my favorite part about the whole criminology thing. I always liked more of the sociological approach to criminology and crime. I think it fits the whole thing better, and it's the best way to fix it, or not really fix. You can't really fix crime, but the best way to develop strategies against it. I think that's the best way to put it, honestly. I think that is the best way to put it. But yeah, for the most part, all we have right now is this and nothing else. All right. But yeah, biology is weird, everything is weird, and there's a lot to be said about everything. I won't pretend. I do remember well, clutch in Portuguese, which is clades, but I won't pretend that I know exactly. But I do understand where Zane is coming from as well. And I think Odd understands as well. Odd is going to the more specifics and more scientifically accurate, I'd say, or something like that. And I think that's where there's being a little bit of a disconnect. It is still a very fun fact, a very interesting fact. And like I was saying, remember that like art performance festival that happens here every year? It actually starts today. We're not sure if we're going yet today, but if I am, I will be sending you some pictures. I will be sending you some pictures to the Discord, because that thing has some pretty interesting things happening, pretty fun stuff. So I'm actually hoping we go, but if we don't go today, we'll go tomorrow or Saturday. Sunday, not as well, not because it kind of ends in the morning. There's like no late night spectacle, as I think there is starting today until Saturday, and usually it's like a huge spectacle. Like the one last year was crazy, super crazy. And also we're gonna get today the bracelet for the medieval fair that I always go to as well in August. I have to, like a good Portuguese fella, I'm gonna go there to get some spices, as my ancestors did in all kinds of grotesque ways in some instances. But I do need my spices, and they have a good deal. They have a very good deal there. There's like a guy that goes there every single year, and he has like a huge stand full of like all kinds of spices and spice mixes, and he sells them at a very nice price for what they are and how difficult to find some of them are. Like, for example, it's kind of hard to get cardamom here in Portugal, and the ones you get are usually from like big name brands, and they sell it like gold. That guy just sells a whole bunch of cardamom for a very cheap price, very reasonable price. I won't say cheap because it isn't necessarily cheap, but it's a very reasonable price. And we always stock up on cardamom, turmeric. I think I got some nutmeg last year, some white pepper as well. We always get some really good stuff, and I think I'm gonna get some more stuff this year. His paprika was also pretty nice. We tried it already. After we moved, we tried it because we decided to everything we had it was only going to be used when we moved. So I think they intend to have zoning for the proof. We're not talking about glades. We are talking about an order in a family. Make the difference. Down here. Point is that, like I said, I think it's two different kinds of points of view, in my opinion. Let me check what that is. Okay, basically, I get what you mean. That is people not knowing enough or something and believing they do. Okay. But yeah, don't go any further because drama is not necessary, like you said. It's just like you said, Zane didn't say anything wrong. It just didn't go specific enough. And it doesn't need to be so deep as well, in my opinion. I think it doesn't need to go that deep in a casual conversation. While it might be wrong on the deep level, it is still a fun fact on the superficial one. The kind that you watch on one of those fun fact videos, and you think, oh, that's kind of cool. So kind of harmless. So it's all good. No need for drama, like you said. Because there's always a possibility that like it has layers. Maybe there's someone that would think the same thing about anyone, really. Whatever you know about a topic, there's always someone that knows more than you and that will likely think that you have the same that you're also overestimating your knowledge. So regardless of what you are discussing, someone will definitely think that you're overestimating your knowledge, because there's always someone that knows more than you and that can find flaws in what you say. And saying otherwise is just denying an absolute truth. But then again, there's no need to go that deep into something that is just a very casual, chill conversation. Because it is just a casual, chill conversation. One that I do not want to end the stream on, so we'll move on to something else because I don't have a lot more time streaming. And so I wanted to chill. I wanted to be chill. And so it will be. But yeah. It's still an interesting thing. Also, speaking of things, I found out about Doggerland recently. I did not know about it. And it's closer to me than other things. But I did not know about Doggerland. But I found out about it, and it's actually pretty interesting. Pretty interesting thing that that story is. But I never heard about it. It makes sense, you know, from what I've learned back in the day in geology and stuff. It makes absolute sense that something like that actually existed for a certain period of time. But I never knew that it had a name, that there were studies about that specific thing, that lots of like mysteries regarding it, regarding how it ended up happening, and the type of like there were places where some things came to shore, and like many other things, the locals knew about it already and already talked about it, and it had the name kind of already due to that, and the study only started later. But that's a fun thing. I did not know that that was a thing. And now I know, and I had a good time with it. Had a good time. I left it playing. Like I think it was like an hour-long video about it. I let it play in the background while I was, you know, editing stuff and getting stuff done. So it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I found it to be pretty interesting. And like I said, it kind of makes sense that it exists. Because land masses. There were more land masses before than there are now. Or there was more land mass than there. Or the land mass kind of exists still. It's just not above the surface. So that is a possibility. It's kind of fascinating to think about the changes that the actual world has gone through, like the not just geological ones and all that, but the whole world. It's crazy how we've evolved as a species and how the world evolved around us, or we evolved around the world, because we kind of shaped it, but it kind of shaped us as well. So that's kind of fun. Weird as hell, kind of conversation you have late at night, but that's what came to mind trying to change the topic. That's kind of what came to mind. But yeah. Anyway, let's do the classic. Let's do 5 Arceus, and this being the first one. So we'll start it. We will start it with a non-shiny Arceus, which is incredibly common occurrence here. Incredibly common occurrence. But maybe you'll be lucky enough. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to get ourselves the shiny in next 4. I find it very unlikely, for reasons that we all know already. I find it very, very unlikely. But we'll see. There's a chance that everything goes well, and this finally ends. Because we're getting close, Din. We're getting very close to the 5th of June. And I don't know if your prophecy will be fulfilled, you know? I have no idea if your prophecy will be fulfilled, because I don't know. I don't feel luck. I don't feel luck anywhere around me. I think I'm completely out of it. It doesn't want anything to do with me. And because of that, I might just continue to hunt this for the foreseeable future. And the unforeseeable one as well, because I have no idea how where this will lead us. I have no idea at all. Like I said, I just hope that I'm not doing this by November. But at this point, I think I will. I think I will be doing this in November. But if I'm doing this in November, then I'll very likely be doing it on the Switch too, I think. At that point, I'll probably be like, no, screw it. Every 4 resets, I get a new one. I get an extra one. Nah, that's enough. That's enough for me to set up everything and all that. I do enjoy the fact that the game is actually playable on the Switch one as well. I think that's pretty cool. I really would love if they had like the cloud saves for Pokemon games as well. Transferring saves will be a pain, because playing my Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet on the Switch, it's gonna be tough. Because I'm gonna have to transfer the save, and I don't think that's gonna be fun, you know? I think that's gonna be a tough one. Let's get to the 4th Arceus of the bunch. I really wish Pokemon would finally, like, you know, kneel before cloud saving. Because this thing about having the what's her name, the save files like locked to the console and all that, and having to transfer them, because I'm always afraid that I just lose everything, you know, like there's something that happens that just messes up the save file and there goes everything. I don't know. I always believe that something like that can happen, and I really don't want to lose everything, and that would be terrifying. I have so much there, so much. Anyway, let's check the final Arceus. Let's check the final Arceus and see how this goes. Final Arceus of today, everyone. Will it be shiny? Will it not be shiny? I'm betting on no. But if you want to be more positive, more optimistic, you're absolutely allowed to be. It's just that my optimism is long gone now. Long gone. Let's see how it goes. Alright. Last Arceus of today. There's the flash. There we go. Because they mistimed it, and it's not shiny. Oh well. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure as always. I will hopefully be here tomorrow to at least make the 3 streams that I said I'd be trying to do. I can promise you that that's gonna happen, because there's still stuff that needs to be done, and if the people that come here to do it are only able to be here like tomorrow, for example, I gotta take the chance. I gotta take the chance. Right now, I'm gonna water the lawn, see if any grass grows there. It's kind of growing, so, but there are also more weeds that do like the water, so you know, it's a constant battle. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure as always. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Hope your shiny hunts are just absolutely plentiful. Your shinies are just plentiful. Good harvest for everyone. So thank you so much.